What's up, beautiful people? I stopped by real quick to make a video for the fellas to follow up on my last video. My last video, I shared information on how to ask a woman out on a date. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 things to avoid if you're out on a date. You must not do these 4 things while out on a date. Number 1, talking excessively about yourself. It's okay to share information because usually on a date, a female gonna ask you some questions. You're gonna ask her some questions. It should be balanced. The conversation should be balanced. A little information about you, she's sharing a little information about herself. But what you don't want to do is go on and on and on and on about yourself. I got this, I got that, I did this, I did that. That's the fastest way to lose that date. That's the fastest way for her to disconnect in the conversation. And she's gonna be saying in the back of her mind, I would not go back out on another date with this guy because he is so arrogant and he thinks it's all about him. And really it's not all about you. You want that balance. Ask her a couple of questions, allow her to answer. She's gonna ask you some questions and you answer those questions. Have a balanced, engaging conversation. But please, don't get diarrhea of the mouth and just go on and on and on and on about yourself, because that's the fastest way to lose that date. And you would not get a second date if that's the way you conduct yourself in regards to conversating about yourself. They don't want to hear it on and on and on. The next thing you want to avoid is being disrespectful. Whether it's people you come in contact with prior to getting into the restaurant or even at the restaurant. If you're being rude and disrespectful, that's another turnoff. A female do not want to be around a disrespectful man, because here's what she's thinking to herself. Wow, if he's that rude to this person or that person, it's only a matter of time before he's rude to me. And myself personally, I don't use profanity. That's another thing you want to avoid. Just every third or fourth word out of your mouth is a cuss word. Try to maintain a normal vocabulary, a normal conversation without a bunch of cuss words. Again, so avoid excessively talking about yourself and avoid being disrespectful. The third thing, and one of the most important things, is avoid being distracted. Don't worry about, I'm not telling you not to watch your surroundings, because with me, that's big for me. Like, I like to sit facing the door so I can see if anything coming in, any type of threat. But that's just me and my military mindset. So I like to face the door. And every now and again, I look around just to make sure everything is safe. That's just me. But avoid being distracted. It's one thing to just watching your surroundings, but it's another thing to just be totally distracted. Looking around, she's having a conversation with you, she's answering questions, and you're not nowhere near engaged in what she's saying. You're not making eye contact with her. You're constantly looking around. And the biggest turn off, you're on your phone. You're texting, okay, yeah. Listen, it should be a no phone zone when you're out on that date. You can bring the phone with you, but turn the phone on vibrate, silent, put it down, and don't pick it back up. Because a female wants to know that you're engaged in what she's saying. You're engaged in that date. Again, you asked her out on that date, so give her that undivided attention and have some balance. Have good conversation, but don't be distracted. Don't be looking around at everybody that's walking by on the cell phone. Like I said, give her your focus. Make it worth her time that she accepted to go out on a date with you. Now, the fourth and final thing is respect her boundaries. At the end of the date, if she allows you a nice hug and maybe a little peck on the cheek, that's fine. But don't think that, hey, I took you out on a date, I paid for everything, now you owe me. That's the wrong attitude to have. Because the purpose of that date is to get to know one another, to see if it's worthwhile going on a second date. And if you're rude, disrespectful, talking about yourself all the time, being forceful, making sexual jokes, or being overly aggressively in a physical manner, you're not getting a second date. I could guarantee you that. So the conversation should be balanced. Respect is a must. You have to respect her. You have to respect that you're out on a date. Your conversation, you can't be full of profanity. Also, don't be distracted. Don't be on your cell phone. Don't be looking all around. And she's right in front of you having a conversation with you and you're not even engaged in the conversation. And last but not least, like I said, don't expect any type of physical reward for taking her out on a date and paying for the date. Respect her boundaries. If she'll allow you to hug her or give her a little kiss on the cheek, that's fine. But if she doesn't, again, don't be tied up into her reaction. Don't get emotionally involved. It's not personal. Respect her boundaries, and you'll know how far you can go. Just go out on a date not expecting nothing physical, because that's, again, that's another way to turn a female off. If automatically everything you're talking about is what we're going to do after we leave here in the physical nature, things of physical nature and all that, you expected something, that's a big turnoff. Go out, have a nice, respectful date, respect her boundaries, have engaging conversation, and I guarantee you, you might be in luck for that second date. Be blessed and stay anchored.